news begins right now with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news comes from northeast Detroit, where a barricaded gunman situation ends with a suspect dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Also breaking at this hour, a former University of Michigan doctor is charged with possession of child porn. And that tops our news at 4 o'clock. Aside from the porn charges, 46-year-old Mark Holtzel is accused of sexual misconduct. There are allegations the pediatric rheumatologist had sex with a patient at work. Right now, he is charged with receiving and possessing child pornography. Receiving child porn is punishable by up to 20 years in federal prison, while the possession charge is a 10-year felony. Holtzel will remain in custody until his detention hearing on Wednesday. Also breaking at this hour, an hours-long standoff between police and a gunman accused of killing 3 women and injuring 3 police officers ended this afternoon when police found the suspect dead inside a Detroit home. Our Rod Maloney has been following the story all day long and has a look at how we got here. Rod?
It was an armed standoff that lasted roughly 14 to 15 hours here in the city of Detroit, but it really only went 4. It's just that the Detroit Police Department, out of an abundance of caution, waited for many hours and allowed the Michigan State Police to determine whether Lance Smith was actually dead inside the house. What we have are 3 Detroit police officers shot and 3 other women murdered, along with the gunman himself. His name was Lance Smith. Let's hear from Deputy Chief Elvin Barron for more on what precisely happened here.
Well, we do know it stemmed from a domestic incident involving the suspect and his loved one. And from there, it appears family members did respond in a manner of supporting or protecting their loved one. And unfortunately, they became victims as well to this tragic situation.
It was a highly emotional scene here, one where they had to bring in the Emergency Operations Center as a way for Detroit police to manage this. But it was a team effort with probably 100 police officers out here trying to solve this. This is going to take days to unravel. We'll certainly stay on top of it. In Detroit, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Be sure to tune in to Local 4 News at 5 and 6 on air for the latest. And we will also be updating the situation right here on clickondetroit.com. Also breaking right now, Donald Trump Jr.'s wife is being evaluated after opening a letter containing a suspicious substance. Vanessa Trump was taken to a New York hospital after opening a letter addressed to her husband, Trump Jr. The envelope contained white powder inside. Vanessa, along with 2 other people, were taken to the hospital strictly as a precaution. According to multiple sources, preliminary tests showed nothing harmful in that substance. The NYPD and Secret Service are investigating. Closer to home, Art Van Elslander died today. He is, of course, the founder of Art Van Furniture and the man credited with saving America's Thanksgiving parade. He's also known for his charity work all across the country. Rhonda Walker takes a look at his life.
It is certainly with heavy hearts, Karen, that we share that the patriarch of the Art Van Elslander family has passed away. Certainly known widely for his hugely successful Art Van Furniture empire and for saving America's Thanksgiving parade so many years ago and still to this day being so supportive and generous. While he's known across the nation for his business success, his true passion was family and helping others.
Art Van Elslander stepped up to save the loving tradition of America's Thanksgiving parade nearly 30 years ago.
You wrote a check and you saved this parade for Detroit and for all of Southeast Michigan. Does it seem like that long ago?
It does, Ben. It really does. And each time I come here, I'm reminded of what a great thing that it was. I didn't realize it at the time, but each year riding the parade, seeing the kids at curbside, I'm thankful that I did do it.
And his support has been unwavering, creating lifelong memories for thousands of children lining Woodward Avenue and millions more watching on television.
The kids love it. They all do. My children love it, the grandchildren love it, and they're all part of it. I'm so happy we were able to save the parade back then. I think it's part of the city, part of the fabric of the city, and I just think it's one of the most wonderful things that we have for families to celebrate.
America's Thanksgiving Parade is just one way Art Van was committed to this community, whether it's the Art Van Charity Challenge, donating to nearly 400 charities and helping to raise $24 million in donations, or helping to collect 3 million bottles of water for Flint, hosting food drives for the needy, blood drives for the American Red Cross, or donating hundreds of mattresses. Giving back was a priority for Art Van Elslander.
And his philanthropy includes a huge donor, in fact, the largest donor for the St. John Providence Health System, with a neuroscience, also surgical and cancer center to his name. In addition to that, he began his career all the way back in 1959, some 60 years ago, with that first Art Van Furniture store on Gratiot and 10 Mile. Since then, that store has grown to 100 brick and mortar stores across several states. He employs nearly 4,000 people. While he recently sold the Art Van Furniture Company, there is no question his legacy and his lasting impact on this community will continue for many years to come. Art Van Elslander was 87 years old, and he touched just about everyone in this community. Karen, back to you.
All right, thank you, Rhonda. And we have learned Van Elslander had been battling cancer for the past year. We will have more on his passing and his legacy throughout the day here on Local 4 and here on clickondetroit.com. We are following a developing story in Highland Park where a 7-month-old baby died after being taken to a hospital. The baby was taken from a home on West McNichols between Log Cabin and Rosa Parks. Police say there were no signs of foul play, but they are investigating the death as a homicide. The parents of the baby are being questioned. No one is in custody. Police are awaiting the results of an autopsy. Well, we had a rough weekend, but you know what? Things are looking a little bit better on this Monday, Ben.
Looking a whole lot different than the first part of February, that's for sure, Karen. Getting a little bit of a break from the snow, but it is still out there. Even with the sunshine today, streets are a little bit less snowy and a little bit drier with the help of that sun. But as of right now, temperatures still below freezing at 30, and with calm winds, our wind chill is matching the air temperature right now. We do have a lot of mild days ahead of us, but we've got one frigid one tonight, which is probably going to be the coldest of the forecast going forward. So Metro Airport's at 30, but everybody else is in the 20s right now. And we will see those numbers sink into the single digits, believe it or not, for lows tonight. Not much to look at right now on the satellite image. You can see a lot of clouds further out to the west of us and some high clouds. They'll start floating in here once we get overnight tonight. But these clear skies and calm winds and that fresh snowpack all working together, and that's going to be giving us temperatures that are going to be in the single digits for lows tonight. High pressure settles on top of us, so in addition to the clear skies and calm winds, get a pretty stable air mass on top of us, and that could lead to a few areas of patchy fog as we get overnight tonight and into tomorrow. And then as we get into the rest of Tuesday, you can see those clouds start to increase in the second half of the day. That's after a sunny start tomorrow morning. Mild air starts working up from the southwest as we get through the middle of the week. In fact, temperatures spiking on Wednesday and Thursday into the 40s for highs. And our next chance of precipitation is going to be rain, not snow. We'll see a few of those sprinkles around Wednesday night. Should be out of here by the commute on Thursday morning. But we could see a couple flakes around as we get into late Thursday and Friday. Nothing like what we went through last week. In fact, right now, it doesn't even look like we'll get any accumulation out of it. 23 tonight, snow ends. Actually, that forecast didn't update because we don't have any snow in the forecast. We've got clear skies tonight. We will be seeing those high temperatures heading into the upper 20s tomorrow, and then eventually into the 40s for Wednesday and Thursday before temperatures start cooling again towards the weekend. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ben. Don't forget, you can get weather alerts right on your phone. It is in our Local Forecasters app. Download it free in your app store. Just search WDIV. MDOT will be out over the next few days to fix the worst of the pavement, and they say to be ready for delays. Today, southbound US 24 from Orchard Lake to Square Lake has just one lane open from 9:30 this morning until 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, from 7 until 7, two sections of eastbound I-696, one from DeQuinder to Ryan and the other from US 24 to Losser. And southbound I-75 from Coolidge to Square Lake will have up to 2 lanes closed. Also tomorrow from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m., US 24 will have only the right lane open from Orchard Lake to Square Lake. Today, the White House rolled out President Trump's long-awaited infrastructure plan. The $1.5 trillion plan is expected to repair and rebuild the nation's crumbling highways, bridges, railroads, airports, and water systems. In a press conference this morning, the president called it the biggest and boldest investment in American history.
The framework will generate an unprecedented $1.5 to $1.7 trillion investment in American infrastructure. We're going to have a lot of public-private, and that way it gets done on time, on budget.
Critics of the new plan fear it will lead to higher state and local taxes and an increase in toll, water, and sewer fees. Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama were back in Washington today, but not at the White House. They were at the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery for the unveilings of their gallery portraits. The Obamas commissioned 2 African-American artists. Kindi Willie painted the portrait of Mr. Obama featuring a background of flowers representing Chicago, Hawaii, in Kenya. Michelle Obama's portrait was done by Amy Sherrill, done with her signature style of gray skin tones. The portraits go on view at the Smithsonian Gallery tomorrow. This next week has started out much better than last week in terms of the stock market, following a volatile week that sent the market down for a correction. Here is a look at how the major market indexes closed today, and all appear to be trending higher. All right, zookeepers at the London Zoo treated their female giraffes to a Valentine's Day treat.
Yes, Ellis and her 2 girlfriends, Margaret and Molly, were given flowers in a heart-shaped wreath to snack on. The zoo's giraffe keeper said the ladies love getting flowers. However, the flowers didn't last very long because with the giraffes using their super long tongues to pull all the petals off of the flowers.
Yeah, got to be careful when you give giraffes flowers. Thanks so much for joining us for First at 4 right here on clickondetroit.com. Make sure to stay here for all the news of the day, and we will be back on air in a half hour with Local 4 News at 5.